This is Michael Faulkner, and it's showtime at the May 29th, 2012 edition of the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronic Rift. Starting with the box office report, this weekend's rundown kicks off with number 10 and Think Like a Man, down 2 from 8th. At number 9 is The Hunger Games, down 2 from 7th. At number 8 is The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, dropping 2 from 6th. In 7th is What to Expect When You're Expecting, slipping 2 from 5th. In 6th place is new release The Chernobyl Diaries, debuting with $9.3 million over the 4-day weekend. That's on target with other found footage movies, excluding the powerhouse Paranormal Activity franchise. At 5th, we have Dark Shadows, down 1 from 4th with $9.4 million, toward a total of $64.9 million. In 4th place is The Dictator, adding $9.4 million as it slips a spot from last week's 3rd to arrive at a new total of $43.6 million. In 3rd place is last week's runner-up, Battleship, taking in $13.8 million to bring the board game adaptation to $47.3 million. In 2nd is last week's runner-up, The Avengers, pulling in $46.9 million over 4 days for a new total of $523.6 million. Even with a 3-day total of $36.8 million, the film still took the second highest 4th weekend ever, behind Avatar's $50.3 million. The movie also set another record by crossing the $500 million mark after 23 days. By next weekend, it will pass The Dark Knight's $533.3 million total to achieve 3rd place on the all-time domestic chart. Coming in number 1 this week was Men in Black 3 with a 4-day estimate of $70 million. For the 3-day weekend, the film opened to an estimated $55 million, which is Will Smith's 3rd highest Friday to Sunday debut ever, behind I Am Legend and Hancock. Its predecessor, Men in Black 2, opened on a Wednesday and earned $54.9 million through its first 3 days in theaters. The 4-day total of $70 million is also lower than the 4-day total of the second film, which was $73.4 million. If you ask the viewers, however, they seem to like the third one better. Men in Black 3 sits at a solid 7.4 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database, where the second film only scores a 5.8. The first, for comparison, has a 7.1 rating. Let's close out the box office report with a look at what was winning in years gone by. 5 years ago in 2007, Captain Jack Sparrow kept the throne as Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End won a second week with $44.2 million. 10 years ago in 2002, the Jedi were defeated not by the Sith, but by Jack Ryan. The Sum of All Fears took number 1 with $31.2 million. 20 years ago in 1992, Lethal Weapon 3 remained in first position with $15.4 million. 30 years ago, in 1982, Rocky Balboa screamed like a starship captain, as Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan took his title with $14.3 million. And 40 years ago, in 1972, The Godfather kept the top spot again for the 3rd week after 11 weeks in release. The film took in $3.3 million that week. The box office premieres for the week of June 1st want you to forget about the aliens and go with something a little more traditional. They start off with Snow White and the Huntsman, an adventure drama starring Kristen Stewart, Chris Hemsworth, and Charlize Theron.
Do you hear that? It's the sound of battles fought and lives lost. It once pained me to know that I am the cause of such despair. But now, their cries give me strength. Beauty is my power.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?
You are the fairest, but there is another destined to surpass you. Consume her heart, and you shall live forever.
Find me someone who doesn't fear the dark forest to hunt her down.
Why is she of such value?
That is none of your concern.
And if I refuse?
Lips red as blood, hair black as night. Bring me your heart, my dear, dear Snow White.
In a twist to the fairy tale, the huntsman ordered to take Snow White into the woods to be killed winds up becoming her protector and mentor in a quest to vanquish the evil queen. Snow White and the Huntsman is rated PG-13. The next film this week is Piranha 3 Double D, a comedy starring Danielle Panabaker, David Hasselhoff, and Matt Bush.
In the world's wildest water park, the party has never been hotter.
Tell me you did not replace our old lifeguards with strippers.
Water-certified strippers.
And the guests have never been hungrier.
Mommy, I got bit. It was a piranha.
It was not a piranha. We think they're back.
These piranha spent eons in underground lakes, rivers. So fish can become confused and try to enter man-made drainage systems.
Is that you? Ow! Whatever it is, I don't like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most famous lifeguard of all time. Let's all get wet and wild! There's something in the water!
Just when you thought it was safe
People are dying! Do something!
to put your 3D glasses back on,
First of all, I'm not a lifeguard. Never was. Secondly, that is what natural selection's all about.
it's double the action,
Something's wrong with me.
What did you do to me?
double the terror, and double the D's.
Bring me my legs.
Piranha 3 Double D.
After the events at Lake Victoria, the prehistoric school of bloodthirsty piranhas make their way into a newly opened water park. Piranha 3 Double D, yes, you know what that double entendre means, is rated R. And the last film coming to theaters this week is Battlefield America, a musical drama starring Marquez Houston, Micaiah Cox, and Christopher Jones.
This is the biggest Battlefield America in history!
Oh, they're fighting now.
We won.
That's Mark, the leader of the bang squad and his crew. Roger and Chrissy.
We run this dance game. You should quit the competition so you don't embarrass yourself.
How in the hell are we supposed to make it to Battlefield doing that electric slide? Yeah.
Come on, we leave you alone for 5 minutes in this war. I'm not worried about you or your little crew.
What you little sissies doing on our turf? What's wrong, y'all? Even we know we're never gonna be good enough. You ain't gonna beat Marvin the Bang Squad.
What did I tell you about that loser mentality?
Shut up, man! You better watch your back.
Hey, save it for Battlefield.
A young businessman hires an instructor to turn a group of misfit kids into a team on the underground dance competition circuit. Battlefield America is rated PG-13. Next up, we'll take a look at the home entertainment releases for the week of May 29th. We'll begin with the new releases on DVD and Blu-ray, and that list kicks off with Dragon Age: Dawn of the Seeker, a fantasy film starring Lucy Christian, Colleen Clinkenbeard, and Pam Doherty. In the land of Orleus, where battles are fought with swords and magic, a young heroine rises as Templars, mages, and dragons clash. Cassandra, a brash and beautiful seeker, must stop a conspiracy that threatens the realm's most powerful religious order, the Chantry of Andraste. Dragon Age Dawn of the Seeker is not rated. The next release this week is Man on a Ledge, a crime thriller starring Sam Worthington, Elizabeth Banks, and Jamie Bell. As a police psychologist works to talk down an ex-con who is threatening to jump from a Manhattan hotel rooftop, the biggest diamond heist ever committed is in motion. Man on a Ledge is rated PG-13. Next we have Memorial Day, a drama starring Jonathan Bennett, James Cromwell, and John Cromwell. When 13-year-old Kyle Vogel discovers the World War II footlocker belonging to his grandfather Bud, everyone tells Kyle to put it back. Luckily, he ignores them. Although Bud has never talked about the war, he finds himself striking a deal with his grandson. Kyle can pick any 3 souvenirs, and Bud will tell him the stories behind each one. Memorial Day is rated R. The next title this week is Coriolanus, a drama starring Ralph Fiennes, Gerard Butler, and Brian Cox. A banished hero of Rome allies with a sworn enemy to take his revenge on the city. Coriolanus is rated R. Next up we have Goon, a comedy starring Seann William Scott, Jay Baruchel, and Alison Pill. Labeled an outcast by his brainy family, a bouncer overcomes long odds to lead a team of underperforming misfits to a semi-pro hockey glory, beating the crap out of everything that stands in his way. Goon is rated R. The next title is Gone, a dramatic thriller starring Amanda Seyfried, Jennifer Carpenter, and Wes Bentley. When her sister disappears, Jill is convinced the serial killer who kidnapped her 2 years ago has returned, and she sets out once again to face her abductor. Gone is rated PG-13. And the last title on this list this week is We Need to Talk About Kevin, a dramatic thriller starring Tilda Swinton, John C. Reilly, and Ezra Miller. Kevin's mother struggles to love her strange child despite the increasingly vicious things he says and does as he grows up. But Kevin is just getting started, and his final act will be beyond anything anyone ever imagined. We Need to Talk About Kevin is rated R.
When you came in, the air went out, and every shadow filled up with doubt. I don't know who you think you are, but before the night is through, I want to do bad things with you.
Next up, we'll take a look at the titles coming this week from TV to DVD and Blu-ray. The first on our list is True Blood, the complete 4th season, starring Anna Paquin, Stephen Moyer, and Alexander Skarsgård. True Blood is a sexy, scary, wildly entertaining drama series from Oscar and Emmy-winning Alan Ball, and based on the Sookie Stackhouse novels by Charlaine Harris. Mixing romance, suspense, mystery, and humor, True Blood tells the continuing tale of Sookie, a human waitress with telepathic gifts, and a so far irresistible attraction to a 174-year-old vampire, Bill Compton. Surrounded by familiar faces, Sookie faces some new otherworldly threats in this season, as if vampires, werewolves, weird panthers, and shapeshifters weren't enough.
Who is the tall dark stranger there? Maverick is the name. Riding the trail to who knows where. Luck is his companion. Gambling is his game. Smooth as a handle on a gun. Maverick is the name. Wild as the wind in Oregon. Blowing up a canyon. Easier to tame. Riverboat, ring your bell.
The next title this week is Maverick, the complete 1st season, starring James Garner, Jack Kelly, and Diane Brewster. In Maverick, the complete 1st season, wisecracking ladies' man Brett Maverick and his more serious brother Bart, 2 handsome bachelors on the loose in the Wild West, have more success at the game of poker than the game of love. Yet they keep trying their luck in one frontier outpost after another. For fans of classic TV westerns such as Cheyenne, Bonanza, and Gunsmoke, 1957's Maverick, the complete 1st season is sure to be a perfect addition to their collections. The next TV release this week is Drop Dead Diva, the complete 3rd season, starring Brooke Elliott and Margaret Cho. Praised by critics and loved by fans, the 1-hour comedic drama tells the story of a shallow, wannabe model who dies in a sudden accident, only to find her soul resurfacing in the body of a brilliant, plus-size, and recently deceased attorney, Jane. The next title this week is Rookie Blue, the complete second season, starring Missy Peregrine and Gregory Smith. After 7 months on the beat, these 5 rookies have kicked in doors, taken down criminals, and kept people safe, and saved each other in the process. And now they'll do it all again, but only better. Next on our list, we have Royal Pains Season 3 Volume 2, starring Campbell Scott, Mark Feuerstein, and Paulo Costanzo. Return to the Hamptons with concierge Dr. Hank Lawson as he works to balance the medical needs and frivolous whims of the very rich, sometimes famous, and always demanding. The second half of Season 3 features 6 episodes on 2 discs. Summer may be over, but the Doctor's as hot as ever in this witty comedy that critics are calling a show you shouldn't miss. And the last TV title this week making it to DVDs and Blu-rays is Wing Commander Academy, the complete series, starring Malcolm McDowell, Mark Hamill, and Thomas F. Wilson. A spirited and elite group of novice fighter pilots attends the Wing Commander Academy in the year 2655. Often thrust into battle against the mighty and ruthless Kilrathi race, the crew must master daring maneuvers and veer through constant danger to save the world. Sedate and honorable maverick, devil-may-care and impulsive maniac, and serious-minded, cautious, and competent archer make up a quartet of the cadet wing at the Academy under their brilliant, if argumentative, Captain Commodore Talwin. And we'll wrap up the home entertainment section with Blu-rays from the past. This time we have 3 titles. The first is Summer with Monica, coming to the Criterion Collection, a romantic drama from 1953 starring Harriet Anderson, Lars Ekborg, and Dagmar Ebsen. Harry Lund is a 19-year-old young man who meets Monica, a romantic, reckless, and rebellious 17-year-old, and they fall in love. They leave their families and jobs in their small town. Harry gets his father's boat, and they spend the summer together in an isolated island. Summer with Monica is not rated. The next title this week is The Outlaw Josie Wales, a drama from 1976 starring Clint Eastwood, Sandra Locke, and Chief Dan George. A Missouri farmer joins a Confederate guerrilla unit and winds up on the run from the Union soldiers who murdered his family. The Outlaw Josie Wales is rated PG. And the last Blu-ray from the past this week is Summer Interlude, also coming to the Criterion Collection. A romantic drama from 1951 starring Madge Britt Nilsson, Birger Malmsteen, and Alf Kjellin. While waiting for the night rehearsal of the ballet Swan Lake, a lonely 28-year-old ballerina named Mary receives a diary through the mail. She travels by ferry to an island nearby Stockholm, where she recalls her first love, Henrik. Summer Interlude is not rated. The Weekly Podioplex will continue after this short promotional.
Cyborg.
Two longtime fans of 2 Bionic shows discuss an episode in detail every 2 weeks with one guest host. The $6 Million Man, the Bionic Woman, the mythology, a look behind the scenes, those sound effects, and the fashions. Oh my god, the fashions. Cyborgs, a Bionic podcast, hosted by John S. Drew and Paul K. Bisson. Find us at chronicriff.com/cyborgs or subscribe on iTunes.
Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at the titles coming to Netflix streaming for the week of May 27th to June 2nd. May 27th is an empty day, but May 28th has 2 titles for you. The first is Mercy, a television series that ran from 2009 to 2010 starring Taylor Schilling, Michelle Trachtenberg, and Jamie Lee Kirchner. 3 nurses deal with the patients and personal issues at Mercy Hospital. The next title is Beast Wars Transformers, which ran for 1 season, 1996, starring Scott McNeil, Gary Chalk, and Ian James Corlett. The Transformers war continues in an older time through a newer generation. On a prehistoric Earth, the heroic Maximals and the evil Predacons battle for survival against each other and against nature. May 29th brings us 4 titles. The first is Ultra Suede, In Search of Halston, a documentary from 2010 starring Halston, Patricia Otschel, and Philip Block. This is an exploration of the clothes, the glamour, and the decadence of iconic fashion designer Halston. Ultra Suede, In Search of Halston is not rated. The next title from May 29th is Finding Genua, a drama from 2011 starring Lee Rose, Gail James, and Jordan Mantell. A young girl is running from her past. An elderly woman can't remember hers, and there's a small town that never forgets. When their lives intersect, the past finds them all and forces them to face their truth. Finding Genua is not rated. The next title is Drop Dead Diva Season 3, which we covered earlier in the TV on DVD section. And the last title is South Park Season 15 from 2011, starring Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and Isaac Hayes. This is the 15th season of the misadventures of 4 irreverent grade schoolers in the quiet, dysfunctional town of South Park, Colorado. May 30th brings one title to the stream, that's Son of the Sunshine, a drama from 2009 starring Ryan Ward, Rebecca McMahon, and Chantel Kazanzi. A socially disconnected young man with Tourette's syndrome undergoes experimental surgery to correct his disorder, but as his symptoms start to fade, so does his ability to heal the sick and dying. Son of the Sunshine is not rated. May 31st has 4 titles for you. The first is Lost in Translation, a drama from 2003 starring Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson, and Giovanni Ribisi. A movie star with a sense of emptiness and a neglected newlywed meet up as strangers in Tokyo, Japan, and form an unlikely bond. Lost in Translation is rated R. The next title is Perrier's Bounty, a crime comedy from 2009 starring Gabriel Byrne, Cillian Murphy, and Michael L. Haddington. A gangster named Perrier looks to exact his revenge on a trio of fugitives responsible for the accidental death of one of his cronies. Perrier's Bounty is rated R. Next we have Against the Current, a drama from 2009 starring Joseph Fiennes, Samantha Sherman, and Pell James. Struggling with a tragic past, a man with an urgent calling enlists 2 friends to help him swim the length of the Hudson River. Against the Current is rated R. And the last title for May 31st is The Killer Inside Me, a crime drama from 2010 starring Casey Affleck, Kate Hudson, and Jessica Alba. A West Texas deputy sheriff is slowly unmasked as a psychotic killer. The Killer Inside Me is rated R. There are no new titles for June 2nd, but Netflix compensates on June 1st. There are 109 new titles coming to the stream on June 1st, most of them from the past 3 decades. There are a lot of classic titles in here and a couple of television series from across the pond from the BBC. There will be a list in the show notes. And now we'll wrap things up with one item in the Quick Flicks. Amazon.com has an offer for you if you want to see Men in Black 3. If you pre-order the Blu-ray or the 3D Blu-ray, you get a free movie ticket. From Amazon.com, quote, be one of the first 10,000 customers to pre-order Men in Black 3 on Blu-ray or Blu-ray 3D at Amazon.com between May 23rd, 2012 and June 25th, 2012, and receive a promotional code that you can redeem by July 5th, 2012 for a certificate valid for 1 admission up to $10 to see the movie at participating theaters. Terms and conditions apply. Now, the prices they have quoted right now on Amazon for Men in Black 3, Blu-ray being $28.68 or 3D Blu-ray being $39.19, include free shipping, and also a promise that if Amazon lowers the price anytime between now and the date it ships to your door, you get the better deal. Now, I was a little concerned when I first saw this deal because, they were offering a pre-order for a DVD even though the movie hadn't hit theaters yet, so you had no idea what you were really getting. But if you want to go see Men in Black 3, courtesy of Amazon.com, this might be a good deal for you. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to chronicriff.com and leave a note in the forums. Leave a voicemail at 888-866-9010 or write to John at chronicriff.com. You can follow us on Tumblr, tweet us on Twitter, check in the network on GetGlue, watch the classics on Funny or Die, give us a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio, and leave us a review on iTunes. You can also find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook and Google+. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, or take advantage of that Man in Black 3 pre-order deal, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make through the store supports the Chronic Rift. Look for the link in our show notes. The Weekly Podioplex is a Lucky Shot production and is produced by John S. Drew. This is Michael Faulkner. Thanks for listening. I'll see you at the theater.